Due this week from Image Comics, Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives, #1, written by Ram V and Dan Waters, art by Dave Stewart and Matthew Roberts. Of all the Universal monsters that have had pop culture impact and resurgence over the years, especially with the rise in popularity of horror media in general, Creature from the Black Lagoon has definitely had the least significance. Which is a shame because it's arguably one of the most interestingly designed early 1900s horror characters, with the big budget spectacle appeal for film studios, you would think. And really should be the definitive staple of creature and folklore horror, but it seems like Dracula always wins that cultural bout. Which is what makes this return to the character so exciting. Aside from the fact that I had no idea it was coming out until I saw it on shelves, I feel like I'm usually pretty good about that, but I missed it. This is a chance at a new chapter for the creature, who should have as many sequels as Friday the 13th, let's be honest. If you haven't seen the original film, then I highly suggest you take a rainy weekday night to yourself to do that. But also I have to shout out and recommend the underrated Revenge of the Creature sequel, which is an early film from Jack Arnold, and I just don't think it's talked about enough. It's a super compelling evolution from the original narrative, taking us out of the lagoon and taking us into the big city where the creature is kept inside of a cage, like a SeaWorld type situation. It has some great early commentary about animal conservationism and exhibitionism. Also, if you're unaware, Ram V and Dan Waters are currently proving how inspirational and monumental they are as a writing duo. With this Universal Monsters venture, as well as The One Hand and The Six Fingers, which is an ongoing futuristic noir series that is still blowing minds. If you've been looking to get more acquainted with the Creature from the Black Lagoon, or just looking for a good old-fashioned classic horror with a environmental and psychologically poignant edge, then you are in good hands with Ram V and Dan Waters. Alright, let's take the plunge into issue #1 now with some spoilers. We are thrown right into the action in this issue as we witness the nightmarish remembrance of the attempted murder of our protagonist, Kate, by drowning. But not for long as Kate rallies herself from this chilling nightmare and rushes out of her South American hotel room, obviously on a mission. Kate's walk, she recalls a conversation with her editor who pointedly warns Kate not to go looking for him unless she wants him to finish the job. Which is a mysterious bit of foreshadowing as well as layering a sense of danger in the narrative as our protagonist wanders through this strange, faraway place where a murderer could be lurking around any corner potentially. Finally, Kate reaches her destination at the local pharmacy where the pharmacist tells her, "The American comes early, I told you, he's already gone." But before Kate can vent her frustration, she notices a bit of commotion outside as the townspeople tell her that the creature has taken another victim in the river. I like that in this scene we establish that the locals view the creature's killings as intentional or necessary in some way, as opposed to the outsiders who just view it as horrifying. I also like the sense of momentum in this issue as a whole, as our protagonist doesn't get a chance to rest. She's always being confronted with new information. While in the crowd, Kate spots her would-be killer in the distance and follows him into the jungle, only then to find herself alone. It's here that we get a really beautiful visual metaphor of Kate's tragic circumstances, as she watches a bird scoop a fish from the river only for the fish to wriggle free. As she despairs that while the fish will just forget almost immediately, Kate has thought about her near death every single day since it happened. But just as Kate thinks she's truly alone, we see a shape in the distance watching her. A shape that looks just like the creature. Kate staggers back as the creature shockingly approaches her, and she staggers back into the river only to get swept up by the current. But just as Kate is about to drown for the second time, she is mercifully saved by the creature and dragged ashore, concluding our issue. It's a simple but entertaining, mystery-laden issue that really feels like just the beginning of a really classic horror tale that will breathe new life into the Creature from the Black Lagoon. Especially with this ending where we see the creature continuing to act altruistically, or at least less barbarically than humanity, which is absolutely the fresh, perspective-shifting horror character that I think we're missing right now from the medium. I guess what I'm saying is that there's not enough "the monster is the good guy, actually" stories right now. Remember to support your local comic book store and grab Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives, issue #1, out now. I was really struck by the simplicity and stillness of this early page. It feels very cinematic and fills you with a sense of dread. Such a cool title page. It makes me feel like I'm watching a 90s movie. Here comes the boy. Also, always hear from great perspective from the writers themselves. I'll just leave this here for a second so you can pause. Did you check out this issue? Are you excited for the future of the Creature from the Black Lagoon? Let me know in the comments.